Good morning and welcome to the original Loretta Brown Show. Radio to open the heart, heal the soul, and awaken the consciousness. And whoa, what happened to my sunshine? Uh-oh.
It's taking a break.
You know, it's just, that's all it is.
She'll return.
Yeah,
she'll return.
She'll return. She's just getting her face done.
Yeah, right.
A little spa day for the sun.
She may need that.
I think she does. You know, Mother Earth, hey, what are you doing out there?
Well, it's a big day for mothers and Mother Earth, especially for this weekend, so maybe she might need it.
I love that idea.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I love that idea. And also, because I was thinking about Pele, sticking her red tongue out over there in Hawaii. I think she needs a facial.
She's on fire right now.
She's on fire.
Kind of like bubbling up, so to speak.
Yeah, she's rocking and rolling.
She is. I mean,
she is rocking and rolling.
And our best to all the families.
Absolutely.
And hope everyone stays safe.
Absolutely.
We are on a constantly moving planet. It's kind of expected.
It is.
But,
it is.
I kind of like the Northwest at this moment.
I do too.
You can kind of like hide from the rain a little bit.
Yeah.
You can't hide from lava as much.
The lava will come for you.
I mean, could you imagine? I've seen some
videos.
I have been. You really can't go anywhere.
No. There's this one, and probably everyone's seen it, where the lava's crossing the road and eats a car.
Eats a car.
Yeah. It's like, oh, look at that. Looks tasty.
It's kind of high speed. It's not really moving as fast as you think. But
there was this old scary movie called The Blob years ago. It's
terrible.
Don't watch it,
But not cold and creepy.
No.
It's like fire and raging.
Yeah. But we really are. Just want to send some love and goodness out to the goddess Pele and the islands and everybody that's out there. And, of course, all over the world. We always wish you the very, very best. And what a great time we had this week. Tuesday evening, this past Tuesday, I hosted a screening of Bill Bennett's movie, PGS, Intuition is Your Personal Guidance System. And we had a great turnout. There were about 75 people that came. And if you liked the movie, please let me know. And, of course, if you're posting on social media, let people know about Bill Bennett's movie and how great it is, because it is an awakening movie. There's an energy in it for those of you that were sensitive. I think you noticed that there was energy coming out of the screen and from the people who were in the movie, and a lot of what I call angelic presence in the room. So I hope it blessed you. I hope you had a great time. And as a follow-up to that movie, I am offering a workshop about activating your intuitive abilities and living life more joyfully by following your intuition. And that workshop will be Saturday, June 9th, 12:30 to 4:30. And you can sign up at schedule.reikioasis.com. If you need more information about that workshop, you can email me, Loretta Brown, at info@reikioasis.com. We also have a few other things coming up this month. The Temple of Divine Feminine, my monthly class with women, is Saturday, May 19th. I do hope you come out. This is a beautiful class. We talk about everything from the ancient mysteries to self-care. And it's kind of a women's circle in its own right. But you're welcome to come, Temple of the Divine Feminine. And then on Sunday evening, May 20th, I have a crystal bowl healing concert and meditation at Bala Yoga in Kirkland. We have such a good time. You do need to buy tickets at Bala Yoga. If you have trouble finding tickets, of course, always you can connect with me through Facebook or send me an email at info@reikioasis.com. I'll be glad to help you. For those of you inquiring about the Egyptian essential oils, I'm sorry to tell you I've sold them all. They sold in about 4 hours. So I will be getting some more. And just hang in there. I have lots of other really great oils. The chakra meditations will be available for either download or through CD. And if you, once again, aren't interested, just let me know. Now, I'm going to go into the astrology weather forecast and rather quickly, because I have an amazing guest today. Her name is Jill Love, and I'll introduce her in a moment. But she is an activist, an art activist, and someone who is really creating change on the planet. And as I was looking at the astrology weather forecast, I was thinking how providential it was she was on the show today. The big event coming up this next week in the skies is the planet Uranus, the Great Awakener, moving through the sign of Taurus. And this is a 7-year transit. Now, this change, it could be rather tumultuous, I suppose you might say, because the effects of Uranus are difficult to grasp, because he, along with Neptune and Pluto, are what are called transpersonal planets, meaning that Uranus takes you beyond the reach of the personality, awakening a global consciousness and a collective spirit, which is what we need right now to get us through the times ahead. So for this power, that Uranus has earned himself the title of the Awakener. Uranus was discovered on March 13th, 1781, by an amateur astronomer named William Herschel. The discovery of Uranus, the first new planet to be found in 1,000 years, was a moment of catharsis for humanity. The consciousness of limitation and impediments had reached a breaking point on the planet, forcing political and economic structures to crumble under the weight of social and technological innovation. And doesn't that sound like I could be talking about right now? So the next time you feel woke up, you have that awakening aha, be sure to thank the planet Uranus. The Uranus, the Awakener, will be felt as he transitions into Taurus, which is a fixed earth sign where he will stay until 2026. Expect to find the awakening of change, defiance, and rebellion against the most outdated Taurian systems such as banking, agriculture, labor, and so forth. And the last time Uranus was in Taurus, President Roosevelt signed the Banking Act of 1935, granting unprecedented power to the Federal Reserve, for better or worse, and the New Deal, granting unprecedented power to the labor unions. The Dust Bowl forced a great migration to California, which helped that Golden State become an agricultural superpower. Today, with the rise in cryptocurrency, social justice movements, and permaculture farming in the last decades, I think it's safe to speculate we're going to see a massive global shift in those areas initiated by the planet Uranus, the Awakener. And at the personal level, the planet asks us, what will Uranus in Taurus awaken in you? The creative chaos of this position may mean that something is improved by or grows in response to chaos, disorder, and disruption. So, to put it simply, things are moving around. The ground under your feet is going to get shook up a little, but that wakening up may be just exactly what we all need in order to move into something more magnificent. And with that, I'm very happy to bring onto my show today a great awakener in her own right, Jill Love. And Jill Love is an activist, the creator of the Jill Love Revolution, an international social movement which creates artivism, which is art plus activism, to raise awareness, motivate society, and expand consciousness. And Jill's mission is to awaken a force in those who view her images, to raise awareness, ignite ideas, and incite people to action. She peacefully and artistically fights for social rights, animal rights, and environmental rights, if I could say that. And her motto is, "We are the voices of the unheard. we are the images of the unseen. So welcome to the show, Jill. It's so wonderful to have you here.
Morning, Loretta. You know, it's funny because I have a problem with that word as well, environmental, right? So it makes me feel better. I'm not the only one. I thought I had a problem,
No.
but you make me feel like, you know, it's not just me.
Well, it's tough, environmental, right?
I know. Sometimes I say nature, right? You know, it's clear, shorter, easier to say. So
I get it. So you have so much wonderful work out there. I was checking you out, to speak, right? And it's such a powerful message you have. But I want to lay a little groundwork for my listening audience so they know who you are and what inspired you to create this revolution. Where did all of this come from?
Well, first of all, I want to appreciate you this opportunity to share my voice, providing a platform to share my revolution. So I'm really grateful. And second of all this began when I was a little girl, and I wanted to change the world, and I was watching all these superhero movies, and I was like embodying the superhero thing. So I thought, oh my God, like, I want to change the world. I want to, like, make things better. I want to help. I want to, you know, like, I want to fight injustices. Like, it all began when I was a little girl. And then I thought, oh my God, like, I can keep doing this while I'm older, you know? So everything began when I was daydreaming in the school, about making a difference, and, you know, just
when you talk about that, and obviously I'll state the obvious, you have an accent in case you didn't notice it. I'm just
I do, you know, like,
where are you
every
from?
time I open my mouth, everybody is like, where are you from? I don't even speak, and people just ask, oh my God, where are you from? I'm from Barcelona, Catalonia, which is becoming independent from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So Barcelona is the capital of Catalonia. And, you know, I always wanted to live here. Like, I was watching all the movies, American movies, and I thought, oh my God, I want to be here so badly. And now I'm here since 2006. But, you know, the accent doesn't go away.
It's a lovely accent. I was just laying some groundwork. When you were a little girl, when you were a little girl watching all these superhero things, thinking, I'd like to change the world. Did you have any ideas at that tender age what you wanted to change?
Well, you know, like, I always thought when I was watching, like, the movies about cowboys and Indians, I always thought, oh my God, like, nobody's standing up for the Indians, you know, like the Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching the movies, and the Native Americans were always portrayed as the savages, as the bad people, you know, all that stuff. And then the white cowboy was the hero, was the savior, you know, and I thought that's so unfair. So, you know, I wanted to find some justice into it. And then I was watching, like, my mom was a movie buffer, so we were watching movies all the time. We were watching movies about the Holocaust and how all the Jews, they suffer so much, and the genocide and all that stuff. And I was always wondering why nobody did anything. Mm-hmm. You know, back in the days when it was happening, you know, the Holocaust, the genocide of the Native Americans, all that stuff. Like, why no one lifted a finger? Why nobody did anything for them? So I was always, like, traumatized about that, you know, at a very young age.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the same with animals. Like, I was seeing the animals suffering so much, and, like, we were mistreating them, and I couldn't comprehend why we were inflicting so much pain and suffering to other beings, human, animals. You know, So,
I agree with you. As a child, I remember looking around, wondering, how can people do that? How can we be so cruel to each other? And like you, I remember, and I think a lot of my listeners can relate to this. Of we hear in the news these awful things, or we walk along the street and we see, people suffering or homeless, and we have a tendency to look away. We look and then we look away, or we just don't know what we could possibly do, or maybe we are trying to do something but we feel ineffective. Mm-hmm. So
so that's my job, to motivate the masses to take a stand and do something, to take action. When we see a homeless on the street, that's the best thing you can do for them. It's not just giving them money or food. It's just giving them a smile, acknowledging them, like talking to them. Hey, where you from? Who you are? What's your name? What's your story? They appreciate that way more than any money, any material goods. Just acknowledging them, looking at their eyes and seeing them. You have to see them, and that creates miracles.
now you have you have an incident which I'm going to jump to, and then we can go wherever you want with it. But during the height of the 2012 Spanish riots in Madrid, there was an image of you that went viral around the globe. Can you tell us about that image and how you came to create that event?
Yeah, that moment was really, really special to me, to my life, because it was 2012. And everybody was talking about the end of the world, in 2012, the apocalypse, the doomsday, the end of the Mayan calendar, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So actually was the end of the world for me, literally. Like, my mom passed away, like she died of cancer. So that was truly devastating. Like, my whole world collapsed. My mom was my grounding force on this planet, and she was gone. And I couldn't be there for her on time. Like, I had some visa issues. Then I had to go with a visa, was expired, and then I couldn't come back to the States until, blah, 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 blah. So actually it was a blessing, because I got to spend time with my dad. And, I went back to Spain after 5 years without going. So that was a truly, life-changing experience. And then one day, Spain was all, in revolution. We had this, I have a problem with his word, austerity measures. Can you say that word?
Are you saying authority?
Austerity, when the government cuts on education, health, social services, all that stuff. Austerity.
You mean like what's happening right now? I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that was happening in Europe back then.
That was, yeah.
We're always ahead of you in Europe.
Yeah, yeah.
So all over, Greece, Italy, we had this economy collapsing, everything, all this. So people were revolting. They were protesting against the government, marching, so much violence. The riot police were charging. And I was in a manifestation in front of the government. And I was in between the riot police and the protesters.
Wow.
And, they were the protesters, they were throwing bottles into the riot police. The riot police was, lots of violence, lots of chaos. And I was right in between, always. I was right in between all situations. So I thought, what can I do to bring a moment of peace and beauty? And I thought, well, what can a woman do in that moment? So I removed my clothing. I got naked, and then I laid on the ground, and I was like meditating, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that shifted the whole energy. There were no more violence, no more like chaos, and everybody was just like, "Wow, what's going on? Like, what's this?" You know. So I shifted the energy just with simple action, like removing my clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And just laying on the ground, doing nothing, just being silent, quiet, you know, like a Gandhi moment.
Yes.
You know?
Mm-hmm. No, I get that. And I'm visualizing this, and you know, for my listeners, my guest is Jill Love. She's talking about the image of her that went global, and it's the image during the 2012 Spanish riots in Madrid. And you took your clothes off. You became naked. You were vulnerable. You were lying down, praying for peace, in between the police and the rioters, I think is what I'm hearing you say. And what a powerful image! And it shifted everything. Like you say, it was a Gandhi. It was a Gandhi moment. It was a true Gandhi moment, making people stop and think.
It was a mix between Joan of Arc and Gandhi moment.
Well, it was, yeah.
And you know what's the most powerful state of being? You know, when I was totally vulnerable, and I was like, it's just like nobody has protested that way in the whole history. You know, like the opposite of everybody was doing. Like I was among like thousands of protesters, and it was cold, and you know, like. It just shifted the whole energy, the whole moment. And then those images, they went viral all over the world. Like, nobody has seen that before. So that gave me the courage, inspiration to do what I do, which is simple acts of beauty, art, can change the whole moment, the whole environment.
Yeah, environment. Yeah, I think you're really speaking to something very important, because you know, anger begets anger, makes more anger. You know, fear creates more fear. And you came in with this energy, and I'm going to say it's divine. You know, I was talking a little earlier in the show about intuition, right? I call it the heart intuition, or that which leads us forward into our destiny. And what you do is so beautiful and so powerful, because your images that you create with your body, because it is your body, and like another incident where you cover yourself in oil, you know, and you have signage, and you are naked, you're vulnerable, but you're making people take a look in a different way, and it's kind of amazing. After that image, after that event, and let me just ask you, it sounds to me like that was kind of the pivotal event where you now go out and you find injustices that inspire you to do an event. It's actually a question.
Yeah, like you know, there is so much to fight for right now. I mean, it's crazy. Right now, and 10 years ago, and 20 years ago, there is always like lots of things to take a stand for. You know, so many injustices and crimes to be exposed, and this and that. So it has to be something that really resonates with me, that makes me passionate. And, you know, like I have to get divinely inspired to do what I do. Mm-hmm. And usually I do things nobody has done before. So that's what really motivates me. You know, I don't want to do things that somebody else has created. So, you know, I provide a voice to the ones who nobody wants to hear.
Right,
you know, like
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like for example, the Palestinians. Nobody speak up for the Palestinians. You know, so like everybody's like talking about Israel and this and that, defending Israel, but nobody talks about the Palestinians. So I do just the opposite of what everybody does. You know, so for me, like they're all equal. You know, it's not like I'm taking one side or another side, but I'm just doing things nobody else does.
Yeah.
Like mainstream media doesn't talk about the Palestinian human rights or the Mexican femicide right now, with 52 women are killed every day in Mexico. It's a pandemic. Horrible. Like,
And no one.
have you known about that, or have you known about the organ harvesting in China? I mean, things like, you know, things like, not even me, I knew about it. And one day I thought like, wow, what's this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You in your own right, and we're going to take a break. We're going to talk more about this when we come back. But you are in your own right, the voices of the unheard. We're going to talk more about that. This is Loretta Brown. My guest today is the amazing art activist, Jill Love, and she is the head of the social movement, Jill Love Revolution. We are the voices of the unheard. When we come back from the break, we're going to open the lines to callers. I want to give out the phone number, 425-373-5527 or 1-888-298-5569. Feel free to call in with a question for Jill, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the original Loretta Brown Show. And oh, I love that music, Benny. Sail away. Yeah.
I just feel like it on a day like today.
I do. It's a little soft energy, but with intensity. That's what it is. I'm the owner of Reiki Oasis. You can find out more about me at ReikiOasis.com. My guest today is Jill Love, and I'm going to say the amazing Jill Love. She's an art activist. She's got a voice that you really need to take a look at. She's got a great book out there called Jill Love Revolution. We are the voices of the unheard. And believe me, it's powerful. We are opening the lines. This is an opportunity for you to call in with a question for Jill. The number's 425-373-5527 or 1-888-298-5569. And we are talking about activism, right? A movement in the world where maybe it's uncomfortable, but we can take a look at those things that are difficult to look at. In your activism, your what it is that you do, Jill, you go out into the streets and you are putting yourself in vulnerable positions. I saw one of your YouTubes where you're covered in oil. You're on a Hollywood boulevard to raise awareness about the risks of the oil industry. And there's a man with a bullhorn. He's carrying a sign that says something about perish, and he's obviously very mainstream Christianity, calling you all kinds of bad names. Does this kind of thing happen often? Because, I mean, you do create an intensity where people are going to come forward one way or another.
But you know, if you still have no reaction, that person is calling me horrible names.
Yes.
You know, and he's in the name of Jesus, which makes no sense, right? Because
Right.
like telling me I'm evil and this and that, you know, like that's not what Jesus is about. So I have no reaction. I have compassion for this man. So, you know, like, we just, like, tired of people reacting to, you know, like, wars between North Korea and United States. One person says something and the other reacts, and this and forth and back and forth, that doesn't do anything. So when I'm just holding in space, I'm not reacting. I'm just giving an opportunity to this person to share his voice. Whatever message is, he has a right to express himself. So that's the First Amendment. And, you know, just what makes me unique is I'm not reacting. People just say all kinds of things when they see me on Hollywood Boulevard, on the street. but I'm not reacting. I'm just laying naked, or just full of blood, of oil and gravel, and I'm not reacting. So I'm giving them respect to express themselves, like the way I'm doing.
It's true art, if you ask me. You combine art and performance, and have your own unique style that it's living, breathing, interactive, and like I say, I think that we need to create these dialogues and have people take a look at these things. Which one is your favorite performance event? And I think performance event is the right thing to call it.
Yeah, that's how I call it, performance event. I call it artivism, which people have a problem with that word because it's a new concept, artivism. It's a new word.
Artivism.
So, artivism, yeah.
Okay.
So, I've done like amazing things all over the world, but one of the proudest was in Mexico City last year. I created this performance event with 43 women portraying the Weeping Woman. The Weeping Woman, which is Mexican urban legend about a woman, a ghost, female ghost, searching for her children. So, and she cries a lot. So it's a Mexican tale of a woman in despair looking for her children. So did you know about the 43 Mexican students from Ayotzinapa?
I did not until I was taking a look at your work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
so
not. Yeah.
These 43 students from from a little town in Mexico, they disappeared. Because they were protesting against the government and they were silent. Mm-hmm. They were vanished. They were gone. Because they dared to speak against the government, the corrupted Mexican government. Mm-hmm. So that really hurt me deep into my core. It's like they were smashed like roaches, Mm-hmm. They were like not convenient, they were bothering, and so we smashed them, So that was really painful to me. And I decided to go to Mexico City for my birthday, March 4th, 2017. And, asked for volunteers, like 43 women dressed as a weeping woman, like ghosts, looking for their children, in the city. Mm-hmm. So that was really, really epic. That was really epic. And that was really beautiful. And it got international attention, like media from all over Europe, even Indonesia, Malaysia, like people who have never heard about the 43 Mexican students from Ayotzinapa. Suddenly they knew about it. Because of that performance event. And the most rewarding moment was when I got a call from the parents of the students, that they saw it on the media, they saw it on the news, and they were like thanking me. By the end of the event, that was so amazing. Like everything was worth it. Like just having that appreciation from the parents who have suffered so much. These students have been disappeared for like over 3 years. Mm. So that was the most special moment.
That is powerful, and
that's going to be my second book.
Oh, okay.
Because it's so recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's very healing what you're doing also. When we don't have a voice or we don't know, no one's listening, no one's, like you say, the mainstream media is not covering these things. Or if they are covering, it's a tiny little blip in the corner somewhere, and then it's overshadowed by, false flag information, basically. diversionary tactics. But for you to be able to, and I can feel that while you're talking, I'm feeling as because one of my questions was, how do you find the injustice you're inspired to do an event about? And I can tell that when you're inspired, you get kind of it's really heartfelt. Maybe it's a burning on the inside, but it is like, this is the thing that needs a voice. And so I will organize this and go do this event, this performance event. And what a powerful thing. It affects many, many people. Yeah.
It does. It does. If I can just awaken one person, if only one person can be moved and touched and inspired to take action, my whole work is worth. It's worth like millions of dollars,
Yeah.
Like what I do, it doesn't pay anything. I mean, it's just I get funding. I sell books, T-shirts, here and there. I get help, but I'm not doing it for money, clearly. But those moments when I see those images and the lives who have been impacted, it's worth like millions of dollars. So that's what really motivates me. Like, just, doing something. Like, I really want to do something. Like, I don't want to leave this planet with a regret of like, oh my God, I wasted my life. Like, I was just thinking about myself. Like, who am I? I'm just like, I'm just like dust. But right now I'm having an opportunity to do something. So I have my creative skills, have my presence, my passion. So I use it to make a better world, and still a dreamer. I'm like, but I'm not the only one, like John Lennon.
Yeah,
Imagine,
John Lennon,
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I love what you're saying, and because it is inspirational to other people. We're not the only ones, right? It takes us all. So, I'm thinking while you're talking. Number one, I know that people can contribute to your work if they want to. I'd like you to just sort of say where can they go to contribute if they're interested, and can you tell us about your book?
Yeah, like We Are the Voices of the Unheard is a coffee table book with the best images, the best moments of like 4 or 5 years of my career. It's very graphic, very visual. There is a story behind that I'm telling, what brought me to do what I did, and the results, it's a cause and effect. So why am I doing the repercussions of what I'm doing, So you have like what's behind the scenes and what's after. So that I want to inspire other people to do what I do, like, because many people think, oh my God, activists, they don't make any money, they're like artists, they're going to die poor, they're starving to death.
Yeah.
But there are ways for us to make a living, so I want to teach other people, like, you can do what I do and just be happy and have a life, And right now I'm making a second book about the manual to become an activist, manual. Like, I'm explaining how you can become an activist and make a living.
Oh, that's a great book to put out there.
Yeah. I want
a
like
manual.
young generations to say, hey, like in the school, the teacher is asking you, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? Some people say doctors, actors, cops, whatever. So I want somebody to say, I want to be an activist.
I love that. Well, and there are probably more. I was, thinking about your experience as a child, and I think we have a growing consciousness of wanting to help. And so what can we do? And this is something that people can do. What in your book, you have beautiful illustrations, and the name of the book for the listeners is Jill Love Revolution. We Are the Voices of the Unheard. you can actually Google that. It'll take you. You can go to Jill's website, right? JillLoveRevolution.com.
Yeah, you can find that on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, Amazon's a good place to go. You can get everything there. But there's a lot of the most poignant moments, the best moments of your revolution, and it is truly a revolution. Which is the activism event you would love to create in the future? What are you headed toward? What would you love to do?
I have an amazing idea for the near future. So maybe there is somebody in the audience who can help to make it happen. So I want to concentrate more for animal rights, because I have done so many human rights. Because, there is so much to do, right? So much to fight for. But the animals, they need a voice, too, especially. They're voiceless. So I want to put like 20 naked protesters inside of a truck. And, those trucks that they carry the animals to the slaughterhouse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The pigs and the chickens and, on the truck that there are holes that you can see through, and you can see the animal faces and eyes, scared, and, like they don't know what's going on, and, and they're going to be killed,
Yeah.
So I want to put like 20 naked protesters, like they were pigs, chickens, animals, and just have them in a truck and just drive around downtown Hollywood, and the animals are screaming, trying to get out, and people outside wondering what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
so they can relate. Like the human suffering, it's the same as the animal suffering.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Many people, they don't get it, but it's actually the same suffering. We feel pain the same way. Humans, we can express pain better than animals. But, so I want people to relate, like humans and animals, they feel the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want to do next. And maybe somebody can help us. So we need a truck, like a big truck. If I can have like
truck.
50 naked people inside, 50, but that's what I want to do, and I think nobody has done that. Maybe somebody's going to copy me after this, which I don't mind, because I'm here to inspire you with ideas, so I don't take any copyright.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm sharing my ideas, it's just like overflowing. So that's what I want to do next.
So let me reinforce that for the listening audience. My guest today is Jill Love with Jill Love Revolution. She is an art activist, artivism, I think is what you said.
Activist.
Artivist. Thank you. It's her own word, and I think it's got it's definitely got substance to it. But she's looking for people that might want to help her do her next project that has to do with animal rights. And if people want to contact you, Jill, how do they get a hold of you?
They can go to my social media, Jill Love Revolution, which is JIL. JIL, by the way, means just in love.
Oh, just in love.
So,
okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I use that as a name.
I love that.
Jill Love Revolution. Thank you. Jill Love Revolution on Facebook. We have like 300,000 followers on Facebook all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, Jill Love Revolution. Website, Jill Love Revolution. Gmail.com.
Okay, so Jill Love Revolution. It is all about love, by the way.
Of course.
Just in love. Just in love.
Just in love. It never gets tiring.
No, never get tired of that. No, never. What is, and you may have already answered this question talking about Mexico, but what was the most rewarding moment of your revolution to this point? Because I know there's more to come.
Yeah, well, I said it before, but I can say it again.
Yes.
That when at the end of my event, I get a call of appreciation of somebody who I directly touched like the parents from the students that they called me.
Mm-hmm.
And, those people who have been directly impacted with that issue.
Well, it connects you with the reason that you're doing it. And what I'm getting from what you're saying is, like you say, it's not about the money. Unfortunately or fortunately, we have to have money in order to do these projects. That's why if you want to help support Jill in her revolution, please contact her. But it is about making that effect, making that connection, and it's authentic. It's
Yeah, it's about connecting the world. It's all about the problems, the issues we have right now is we're disconnected. Like the U.S. is U.S. and then we're disconnected from the Middle East and from other countries. Like, we all have borders and walls and language barriers, all many things that makes easy the disconnection among human beings. But we're only one consciousness. So what's going on in the Middle East is affecting us indirectly. People they're not like us. They have a different religion, different color of skin. It's their problem, but I want people to wake up and say, hey, I mean, their suffering is my suffering. Nature is really intelligent energy. So when like some people said, there are too many people here in Los Angeles. That's why we have earthquakes.
Yeah.
So we have an impact in nature. So we're all connected. What's going on in Syria, in Palestine, Iraq, it's affecting us.
Yes.
I believe that we're all connected through consciousness, one consciousness. So I want people to feel more compassion and for Middle Eastern.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. We actually are going to take a call from Salt Lake City. Brandon.
We have Brandon joining us. Brandon, welcome to the show. What's your question?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
We admire Jill's activism all the way here in Utah. She has many important causes she stands behind. Curious about her view on the surveillance of citizens here in this country by our own government, the way that runs against the Fourth Amendment and our Constitution here in the country. Jill and I just now met over the cyber world here a little bit yesterday. But I was just curious what she thinks about the surveillance and if she has any plans for activism along those lines.
Well, that's a very interesting topic that maybe I can do something about it. So the government is obsessed about controlling, right? They want to control everything. It's the word government comes from the Latin govern, to control meant the mind. They want to control the mind. They want to control everything we do. And, it's like 1984, George Orwell, we're heading that way. So we have to take the power back, right? The government should be afraid of us, not us afraid of the government. So we have to step up, So people like when this Facebook controversy, like they were like spying on us and selling our data to corporations. Some people they didn't even care. They said, well, Facebook is giving us a free service, so they have to get something back, right? So like some people are getting so apathetic. They're not taking action. They think they have no power. So I want to bring the power back to us. Like we can do something. Even if we have to go to the streets naked with a sign, and just do something, don't stay home feeling powerless and helpless, because the government is going to take more power. We're allowing them, right? So,
yeah.
So it's scary. It's scary, like what's going on in this country. Like if we don't do anything, like, George Orwell, like it's what he said, like imagine the future with a boot smashing your head on the ground, right? Remember that from 1984?
Yeah, that's in 1984. Yeah.
From out of the country originally that appreciates how important our human rights are here in this country and how beautiful and valuable that Constitution was.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Brendan, for calling in. And
Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you, because we love people listening and getting a little bit into the conversation. So, Jill, we have like maybe 1 minute left. I think we have 1 minute. What final things would you like to say to the listening audience?
Well, I would love to say that your voice matters. You know, whoever you are, whatever you are, if you have something to say it. You can use your voice, you can use your body, you can use your creative skills, express yourself. And, you know, if you have a neighbor or somebody who have lost hope and passion, you can help this brother and sister out.
Absolutely. Do it now. I love that. Well, Jill Love is my guest today. This is Loretta Brown. And Jill, thank you so much for putting yourself on the front lines to make a difference and being introducing us to the idea of artivism, and that's artistic activism. Find out more about Jill Love at jillloverevolution.com. Please connect with her. Get out there, change the world. This is Loretta Brown. Be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you next week.